Hello, everybody. I'm here with Nicci Willis. Yay! This is Lori Kirstein. I'm the founder of the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And for the rest of the week, we are still doing the Outrageous Courageous Confidence Summit. And I wanted to bring Nicci on because she's completely awesome. And her interview is tomorrow. So if you sign up before then, if you sign up before 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the 7th of July, you've got her. And in fact, you will have everybody, because we're going to make everybody available for the rest of the week after tomorrow. It's badass. It's fantastic. So, hello, madam.
Hello, Lori.
Nicci,
Thank you so much for having me on here.
Oh, it is my pleasure, madam. It is my pleasure. Or should I do my bad Indian accent? It's my pleasure. Maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. Well, tell everybody, if you would, what you're up to, because you are now the mompreneur queen.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh gosh. So, oh goodness, what am I up to? So, I don't even know if your audience knows, but my husband and I, we are both in real estate. So I've been spending a lot of time building that up, with the whole COVID-19 and pandemic and everything. It's actually been, a lot of people actually like want to move. So that's been picking up, and we've been busy doing that and, establishing our brand out here in Las Vegas. So it's been fun. We started before COVID-19, a group in our community called Black Henderson, which it seeks to elevate and celebrate Black excellence in our community. So that is growing by leaps and bounds. I absolutely love that. And just seeks to, seek out, Black businesses, Black-owned businesses, families, and, and build community here. There's a lot of just misinformation about the Black community. And and I was, sharing a few weeks back with another lady, Nora Luke, about how, Black is not just a color. We are.
Sorry, I'm laughing because to me that's obvious, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. But it's so, and it should be obvious, but it's not. And, and I just believe in honoring our culture. And so that's been a great adventure, a fun adventure. And honey, as soon as this Rona's over, we're going to, start meeting and doing all kinds of fun things. So we've got that. And finally, the Front Burner podcast, I just launched, or I don't even want to say launched. I finished my first season. So I was really.
Yes, bravo.
I finished my first season 1. So I've decided to do kind of a front half of the year and then a back half. So I'll be back in September with new episodes. But your audience can binge watch or binge listen to some on YouTube and on all podcasting mediums. But they can binge listen to 28 episodes. I did 28 episodes. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've come out with my own merch, and yes, I'm excited about that. So cereal for dinner is officially a coffee mug. You can get that.
I'm gonna buy one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't have a family like that. I gotta have one. Yeah.
So moms definitely will understand that. That's officially a coffee mug. And then the Front Burner Tribe is a t-shirt, it's a hat, it's all kinds.
Now, is Front Burner only for people of color, or is it for?
No, it's for moms. It's for moms. My audience is specifically to Christian mompreneurs, because I walk through the Bible and things like that. And I come from a biblical perspective, but, it's for everybody. I have men that listen, which are awesome. I got, my Front Burner Men Tribe. They're cool as well. And it's for everybody, again, like I come from a Christian perspective, but honey, I got everybody listening, and it's so fun when I meet people and they're like, oh, I heard your podcast. I'm like, thank you.
That's so cool. That makes you such a rock star, right?
It's crazy because, when you're sitting in your little corner or, for a while I was, in my closet recording. I didn't feel like much of a rock star, but, it's all about just starting and starting that walk. And that's what it's been about. It's been challenging, but it's been so worth it.
Oh my God. I have to ask, have you connected with Evita Robinson yet?
I haven't, don't make me fan out right here live in front of the audience. Do not make me fan out. I know. Isn't her episode today? Or no, it was over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So Evita Robinson, I've met her back in Cincinnati, just kind of like in passing, and I, listened to her speak, and she is incredible. And so the whole audience knows. I told Lori, don't put me right after Evita Robinson.
I told her about that, though. I didn't mention your name.
Oh yeah.
I said, I have a friend who's going to be on it. She made me promise.
Yes. I have to be like after, way after, or way before.
Well, it's not way, but I did put somebody in between. So.
I appreciate it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I'm really curious to know something, because one of the things I'm focused on in my business is getting people to shift and do it through authenticity.
Yeah.
To go, okay, I'm done playing these ridiculous games that this whole paradigm of employment has been. And now I'm going to be me, and I'm going to create something that really serves me and the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to know what you're coming up against in your business that people are saying, yeah, I'm going to take the risk to become a mompreneur. What's happening on your side of that issue?
Yeah, I'm just here to say, I'm tired. I'm tired of playing the political employment games. I'm tired of, living just to work. I'm tired of, spending all my energy and not being able to be creative. I'm tired of, spending all my time, for lack of better words, it's almost like being prostituted, and work so hard for nothing. And then you have nothing to bring home to your husband, your kids, yourself, and people are just tired. And I'm also hearing a lot of women say, I'd rather work hard on my stuff, on my own thing, right? And I put a quote up on my Instagram a couple weeks ago. Like, you remember, you ever just get tired of, putting more effort into their stuff than yours? We have to change that. We have to change that. And so women, I think across the board, women are just tired of, working for someone else and saying, and not that it's wrong to work for someone else, because if that's your business, but there are, droves of women saying, you know what, I want to do my own thing. And even if it's like, not wholly just working for themselves 24/7. Maybe it's, I just have a passion that I have to get out, that I have to do. It's starting now. And with the whole pandemic that has popped up, where the unemployment rate has skyrocketed, where employment is, a crapshoot at this point.
Oh God, yes.
You don't know if you're working from home or if you're laid off. You have no idea, It's like,
Right.
And people have lost faith in their employers, and just being employed and saying, you know what, I'm going to take back, my own journey. I'm going to take back my destiny. And
powerful things you're saying. Oh my God, you're blowing my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing women all over say. I did do a podcast about doing it scared, and that's been one of the most listened to podcasts this month, because that's the other thing. It's okay, I decided, but I'm scared. So it's about, understanding that it's not abnormal, but you got to keep marching through it. You got to keep marching through it. Yeah. So
How did you go from, I mean, you just moved from Cincinnati, what, 2 years ago or?
Not even two. It hasn't even been a year yet. It'll be a year in August. Uh-huh.
God. Okay, so you leave Cincinnati like not even a year ago, and you move out to some place that you've never lived,
Yes.
right? You have no friends out there, right? Nobody that you know. And you go, hey, let's do this real estate thing. And then you're like, wait, let's do this front burner thing. Wait, let's do this mompreneur thing. Because that's the way you're built. You are very dynamic, and you're like, I have 12 ideas, and that's where we come together.
Yeah.
And so how did you become so known so quickly?
Oh, I really think it had to do a lot with like timing and like God's timing. Cause I honestly,
I hear you.
I've just been living my life. I think, people are very quick to sell you, oh, you can, after 6 months, you'll be here, or, you can, be a rock star in 90 days. And they'll sell you all kinds of things. But I've learned to, a great preacher, his name is Michael Todd. If you haven't heard of him, he's amazing. He's a great storyteller too. But he had a series called Striding. And it's all about walking with God. And to a point where you're not, trying to, run this, you know how you're always like just sprinting, you know what I'm saying? And being ambitious is great. It is. But have you ever noticed that when you're so ambitious, sometimes you just wake up and you are exhausted? I really don't believe that God wants us to be like that. I want to enjoy my life. And I think God wants me to enjoy my life. And so it's really about, just making sure you're just in alignment with what God wants for you. Nothing more, nothing less. And then you can just walk through life. It was so funny. He said in the Bible, he said, when have you ever seen Jesus running anywhere? You ever seen that? And I cracked up.
Hurry up, I gotta get over here now.
Okay, let me heal this person. Let me run over here. Let me heal that person. Okay, hurry, we gotta go fishing here. Quick. Where in the Bible did you see, Jesus run anywhere? And I mean, even if you think about like, other, religious leaders or whatever, they don't run anywhere. And I believe that that's because they're in alignment with God. And if we understand that, and we understand, listen, God will elevate me in due time. I just need to stay consistent. I just need to wake up every week, every morning, and every week I need to put out a podcast. I need to be consistent in doing that. And yeah, it starts slow for a while. And then people start to pick up and they start to catch up. What happens is people become inconsistent and they quit early, or they get, tired of doing. And it's usually right before the blow up. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's right before you're about to strike on something. And so it's really been about, trying to remain disciplined. And honey, I am not perfect. Believe me, I'm not perfect, but understanding that God will elevate me in due time. I just need to stay consistent, walk with him, understand that I have a purpose on this earth, and keep it moving. And he'll elevate me in due time. And he has. So I can't say that it hasn't worked. It's actually been working. And I've tried it another way. I've tried to be that ambitious person and handing out business cards everywhere. And first of all, I'm too old for that. I ain't got time for that. I got 3 kids. Like, it's too much.
Right.
It's about, I'd rather put my energy in being consistent, and it'll come.
So you did do it, the whole push thing before,
mm-hmm.
And it was not successful.
No. And it was stressful. I was tired, running into dead ends, chasing leads that, really weren't interested in me. And that was, with my other business, just, chasing all kinds of ideas and, I one of my best friends, she calls it attention deficit. Woo, shiny. That's kind of
shiny object syndrome. Yeah.
So, understanding now as I've gotten older, just stay focused on what you've been given. Put out quality work. Like, make sure it's quality. And I am. Listen, I'm probably like captain of the team of Jane of all trades, but I love people that are like that. That's just me. I don't think it's weird. My whole family, they're like, stick to one thing. I'm like, I can't. I'm bored.
Oh. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But there is something to be said in being consistent with all the things you got going on.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Well, being somebody with multiple interests and multiple gifts doesn't mean that then you want to start simultaneously a business in real estate, artistry, dog grooming. Like you don't want to go. You can't physically can't.
Yeah, there has to be like some type of interconnectivity between what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so like my experience with running a company with my husband brings a lot of, experience and testimonials to what I'm doing now with my podcast and, what I did with Party Sitters, my first company, and building that up to 6 figures. Now I can share with other women, okay, this is how you do it. This is where you start, even if you have nothing. So yeah, finding that commonality in all the disciplines that I've been in, it has helped to bring me where I am now. And again, just being consistent through that.
Well, let's talk just a little bit about self-image, which is sort of a favorite thing of mine, because you can look at this from so many different perspectives. There are people who talk about it in terms of what your beliefs are, or the words you use. I mean, there's lots of different sort of inroads, but the core for me is, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as somebody who has that power, or is that power, or shares that power? Something about you being this magnificence, or do you see yourself as someone who's sort of like a beggar in life? And so have you ever gone in your life from seeing yourself as less than you are now to understanding now who you are?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lord, that's why I came to see you. Well, again, I am who I am now. By the grace of God, I'll be 36 next week.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. But before, I grew up, throughout my childhood, my teenage years, always asking for permission to do anything, permission to say anything, permission to be heard. That's, just how I grew up. And love my family, great family, because it also taught me how to be very polite, especially to my elderly citizens, which I love. I love elderly people, but but having that mindset, it causes you to, only speak when spoken to. It causes you to feel like you don't deserve a seat at the table. I know now, oh honey, yes, I have earned a seat at the table and I deserve to sit at the table. And I will speak when I have something to say. Now, wisdom is you don't always speak. Sometimes silence is what's needed, but knowing that I can speak and that I'm worth listening to, that my story is worth listening to, that has come over time. That's come with age. That's come with, seeing myself in my daughter and saying, maybe she sees that. Maybe she's, being that way or staying silent because she's seen me be silent. And I don't want to be like that.
Oh, and it's in so many different areas, isn't it? It's like you stumble across it and you go, oh, I didn't know I was staying quiet there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, I've, over time, I've changed my parenting style. Over time, I've changed the way I carry myself, because, I've just learned over time and seen, especially having a daughter, I think has just, been able to, you see a reflection of yourself and you're like, Huh, okay, I love that. Not so much. And so that caused me to make a change, and again, in how I carry myself and how and what I'm sharing, and standing up again, even standing for what's right. Seeing my daughter, she attended a protest with some fellow students of hers, and that just, oh, you talk about a proud mama moment. I'm like, oh, forget all the eye rolls and everything else. Oh, I love this kid. Yes, and so I know that she's seeing something in me that's saying, you know what, my voice needs to be heard. I need to stand up for what's right, even if it might not be popular, or I might get what they say on dragged for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I've been aware of something, though not as hyper aware, I guess I would say, as I am now, but consistently aware that the experience of people of color is different from mine. And over the last year, and certainly in the last few months, it's become more and more a question in my mind of, not a question, more of an exploration of how that informs your life. Like, I know that as a woman, there are certain things that make me feel I'm really held back. And so I've worked my whole life. I meet them and I'm like, I want to walk through this one. And I don't want to think that I have to ask for permission or approval. And I'm not going to let myself do that. People of color, we could be crossing the street at the same time and against the light, and guess who's going to be arrested? It's not going to be me.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And so my thought and my musing has been, how the hell do you deal with that level of ongoing stress? Because, for women women of all colors get killed, but without us knowing, violence in the home and that kind of thing. But what we're talking about with Black Lives Matter is, why did George have to die?
Mm-hmm.
That's beyond the pale. So, but how do you deal with that stress?
Well, I was a guest on another show. I shared a story that my son, who's 9, had seen the very same picture of that cop with his knee on the neck of George Floyd. Again, my son is 9. So, and we try to shield our son, from things like that, from seeing things like that, from seeing lynchings, because again, we just want him to be a normal boy. But as a Black family, as a Black woman, he can't be just a normal boy. And so these things are taught in our home, they're ingrained in our home, that when we have the talk, we are not talking about sex. When we're having the talk, we are talking about, when you encounter a police officer, this is how you have to handle yourself. And so as a woman, this is just how we grow up in this. We're taught this from from when we are little. What people don't realize, I think, is the trauma that we still experience, but we don't. It has now just been televised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's now being outwardly displayed, and more people are talking about it. But this trauma has always taken place. You want to talk about PTSD? Talk to a woman who's been out and out on a date with someone, and they're being pulled over, and they're being asked to get out the car. They're being asked to, they're being placed in handcuffs. They don't know why, and she was just going out on a date. So these types of things, are traumatic for us. We do need counseling. We need, therapy, all kinds of stuff. But most of all, we need this stuff to change.
Yeah.
And I recently read a book called White Fragility. It's very, very good book by Robin DiAngelo. She is incredible. And I think she has one of the best perspectives of understanding white privilege from a white woman's perspective. I encourage everyone to read it.
Okay.
One of those books where I just kept nodding my head because it's the frustration that we know we can't, we know we can't say what we really need to say because it makes white people feel so uncomfortable. And that just is what it is. And so we're forced to, kind of live our lives amongst this, this world of white privilege. And that has been our lives. And that is what we have adjusted to, but it should not be the norm.
We have to change the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, we'll see, but I feel like there have been more strides made in the last few months than there have probably ever. Because the 60s was like, it seemed big, but then it turned out it wasn't. Like, it didn't really change the things that are major. It just didn't. It just all went underground.
Yeah, and we have to be careful now that doesn't happen. When you have things like,
yes,
let's take Aunt Jemima off the syrup. When you have things like, oh, let's sing the Black Negro National Anthem at the first week of the NFL games. When you have things like, let's paint Black Lives Matter all over the place. That's very cute.
Exactly, but it's not core. It's
not what we're asking for.
Yeah.
That is never what we asked for. When you're talking about, let's let the NBA players wear, different Black sayings on their jerseys. Again, we didn't ask for that.
No.
What we're asking for is justice for our people. What we're asking for is equality. What we're asking for is you to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor months ago.
Thank you. Yes.
So yes, we kind of are making strides, but I want us to be very clear that what we have asked for has not been done. So we have work to do.
Let me be clear also, just so you understand, when I say we've made strides, I should have been clearer. It feels like a consciousness shift.
Yes, that is true. There is an awakening here. Yeah.
Now, as to whether we actually get away from the distractions, the sops that are being given, because all of what you said, those are all sops.
Yeah.
They're like, here, have this candy, little girl, and then you won't have to think about it. It's like, I have 2 words for you. They're not happy birthday, because that's not what needs to change.
Right.
There needs, and it's on one hand, it's so big, and so it's in your face. And on the other hand, it seems to me very subtle, because what we're wanting is for people not to be quote unquote colorblind, which is a very triggering and weird and non-community differentiating. But we do want people to be inclusive and have it all be equal. And, we're going to get all the people in power going, here's a sop, here's a lollipop, little girl. That you can expect it every time.
Yeah. We have to change who's in power. We need to vote. We need to, we need to call people out on their poop and keep going. And it helps with our white allies who are saying, nope, that is absolutely not right, because there are certain things that you guys can say that we can't. And so as the great awakening has been you all saying, okay, you know what, this is wrong. Let me stand up to this. That has been, one of the most, satisfying and gratifying things that we have been able to experience in our lifetime.
That's really great to hear that's actually impactful, because I know I feel woefully unimpactful. Like, I want to take the world, wrestle it to the ground, and make a change. Of course, one person can't do that. So it's good to know that some part of this awakening does have an actual sense of like, okay, something has really shifted.
Yeah.
Now we have to get the rubber to the road and make it different. And And it's so freaking big, but I think the more we go on with this pandemic and without any guidance from the top, the more we go, well, if nobody's out there doing it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
There's that positive side to it, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for letting me talk about that and for talking to me about that. I hope that was okay. Not what you expected to talk about. So yeah, if I can do anything to connect you with Evita, by the way, let me know.
Okay.
I don't think you need me, but just if you feel a need for an introduction, count on me.
You know what? If you could, because I'm just like, she'll probably see this and be like, "Who is this girl fanning over me?"
It will be my pleasure to connect you two. You guys will be like, holy cow, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
No, she's a really awesome woman. So having her on the summit, she's a powerhouse, truly.
I just loved how she said, I just wondered, is everybody else's business as janky as mine? And I was like, yes.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I think that's like one of the, people think they have to have everything perfect. And it's like, honey, if you only knew, where you have to start, it's not going to be perfect. That contract, I'm going to tell you, you need to have it in writing. Okay. But that contract's probably going to change 100 times over by the time you get it absolutely perfect. But if you just get it in writing, if you both just have your signatures, have it dated, because that's where you start. I employ, over 50 people at one point in time. And, I'm not an HR guru. I know them now. I'm like, where were you? So, but just, and I think a lot of times too, which I love what she said, is because we tend to, be embarrassed about our stuff being janky and not ask for help. Another thing that I've learned, and I guess because my birthday is coming up, like I feel like, oh, I've learned so much. But I wish I would have asked for help earlier and often. I always talk about that. I don't believe in anybody being a self-made millionaire.
Oh God, no. That is a myth.
Head. I follow real millionaires, like the real ones, and they ask for help often. They're not afraid to ask for help. They're not afraid to say, hey, let's do a joint venture. They're not afraid to say, okay, listen, I don't know what this is. Help me. They're not afraid to ask questions. They're not afraid to say, this is janky. Can you help me? They're not afraid. And so in order to get past, just the small, maybe 5 figures that you're doing a year or something like that, you're going to have to ask for help. You cannot do it by yourself. You just can't. No. And even when you get up higher, there are more things that you have to deal with. There are more things, that are, beyond your scope. And so you ask for more help. You pull in more people. Being an entrepreneur does not mean that you need to wear all the hats. And so earlier on in my entrepreneurial journey, honey, I was wearing all the hats, bonnets, caps, you name it. I had every hat. I probably should have had a clown hat because I was clowning. But yeah, I mean, I was doing my taxes. I was doing this. I was doing that. Finally, I'm like, get an accountant. Make sure you have a lawyer. And taking these hats off helped allow me to do what I do best. Which was make that money, honey. But, it did. It just allowed me to do what I do best. Make these events. Getting in with, my clients. And these are, high, huge clients. The last thing that I needed to be doing was, all this bookkeeping over here. Let's hand that off. So, and the best way I would say number one, understand what your own process is and then hand it off. The last thing you want to do, this is a tip for all my new mompreneurs, understand what your process is, or at least how you want to get from point A to point B. And even if you don't know how, just say, here's where I want to be from point B. And find a person that will help you get from point A to point B. But you need to know what the result that you want. You need to know that first before you go hiring somebody, because you're going to waste your money. But understand what you want. Yeah, understand the result that you want to get, and what you can hand off.
Yeah. The idea that you can do it all yourself, you're right, it's total myth.
Yeah.
And, when I started doing the summit, I hired 2 virtual assistants, and eventually I let one go because she had her own bed and breakfast. She's the one who made me do our thing in 2021, if this ever ends. And but I kept the one, and I got what you're saying right now, which was, I'm not supposed to do all this stuff, but I am supposed to have the control and the empowerment and the CEO-ship to say, here's how I want it to look.
Yes. Yeah. That's the being a boss part. You have to know what the result is that you want to get.
Yeah.
You got to be able to tell them, hey, this is it or this is not it. So no more, that's the one thing I was never a good girl in. I was always able to tell people, this is what I don't like, this is what I do not like. But don't be apologetic. You're hiring that person to do a job for you. And so, of course we're nice about it. However, make sure that they're bringing you the results that you need. Because again, you don't want to waste your money.
Yeah, or your time or your sanity.
Yeah, exactly. If I pass something off to you and then I have to take it back and redo it, I have wasted my money, and most of all, I have wasted my time. So it's hiring the right VAs and putting a good team together can really help catapult you to the next level. Someone to help you work your back end if you're weak in your back end. Somebody help you with your onboarding process. Somebody to help you with accounts receivable, or just that type of stuff can help you along the way so that you can do what you are best at, so you can do what you're good at.
I love these mic drop moments that tell me that was perfect way to end this conversation. That was epic.
Yay! Good.
Thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
I'll get you a copy of this. It gets recorded, and I'll get you a copy of it so you can use however you want. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me. I love talking to you, Lori.
I think the world of you, Nicci, and God, let's go get coffee and just sit here and talk for like an hour. Okay.
I know.
It's cool.
I know.
All right. Well, we'll have you back, and I do want to talk to you about you maybe being on my TV show. Woohoo! So we'll talk about how which what am I trying to say? Which episode would be perfect?
I'd love to. You tell me the topic, tell me the time, and I'm there.
Great. I love it. Okay. Well, see you later then. See you on TV.
Okay.
Bye.